There's a conversation you need to have at work, and it's a hard one. Maybe you have to tell someone no, or deliver news that you know they won't want to hear, or hold a line with someone who's pushing. And here's the strange part: you've had harder conversations than this in your life with family, with people you love, and for some reason, those took a whole lot less out of you than this run at work is about to. It's the same difficulty on paper, but with a completely different weight. If you felt that pressure, then there's a reason for it. And it isn't that you're worse at your job than you are at life. When you have a hard conversation at work, you're not doing one thing, you're doing two. You're having the conversation, and at the same time, you're watching yourself have it. You're watching your tone, choosing every word before it leaves your mouth, and tracking how this is going to look, and rather, it could be coming back on you later. That second track, the part of the monitoring everything while you talk, it never switches off at work. And running two tracks at once is far more tiring than running one. So, naming that second track is the start of understanding why the work is so much heavier than it looks from the outside. I'm Tammy Brewington, founder of People First Org Flow, and I built this work after years in roles where difficult calls, complaints, and escalations were part of the job. And over time, I started to realize something important. The hardest part of the work, it wasn't the conversations itself. It was managing my own stress while staying clear and professional. So I started building tools to support that part of the work. And this is the first in a series I'm making about exactly this kind of pressure. Here, I want to stay with that double feeling, the sense of having the conversation and managing yourself at the same time, and look at where the extra weight comes from. What's underneath it is this: at work, you're never only yourself in a conversation, you're representing the company, following its rules, and aware that what you say is on the record in some kind of way. So part of your attention is always pulled away from the person in front of you and onto the standard you're being held to. The split isn't a focus problem, it's built into what the job asks of you. You can feel that split in the small things. You do it by softening a sentence three times in your head before you even say it out loud. You keep your face neutral while you actually feel your stomach tighten. And that's home, you'll say what you need to say and be done with it. But at work, every line goes through a filter first. And running that filter all day becomes its own type of labor. This is what I call hidden monitoring. It is the constant work of watching and managing yourself while you do the visible part of your job. Of course, nobody sees it. It's not in your job description and it never shows up on a call log, but it's constantly running the whole time you're in a hard conversation. And it's a real reason you can be worn out by an exchange that from the outside looked like it only lasted 5 minutes. There are two ways to make this lighter, though. And it's mostly by just taking some of that monitoring off of your plate so that you're not composing every word from nothing while you're in the moment, which is why I put a starting point in the pinned comment section below this video, because I built those tools for exactly this part of the work. The part where you're managing yourself and the conversation at the same time. And this goes beyond the big scheduled conversations. The same doubled attention runs through the small ones as well. The quick correction, the tense email you answer carefully, or the customer who catches you off guard. Any moment at work where you have to manage yourself while you respond is running the hidden track underneath it. So if you come home worn out and can't quite explain why, when you know nothing dramatic has happened, that's worth taking seriously. And that second job is real, even though no one ever named it. Seeing the hidden track for what it is changes the question. It stops being, why can I handle a simple conversation? And it becomes, how much have I been managing that no one can see? The tiredness was never a sign that you're not cut out for this. It's the weight of doing two things at the same time for hours with no name for the second one. And naming it is where this whole series begins. There's a second piece that I want to take a look at with you because once one of these conversation ends, it doesn't always end. Sometimes it follows you home, still running in your head hours later. And in the next video, I want to look at why the hard conversations don't let go, even after the call is over. So stay with me.